The most competitive PvP organization in Diablo 2 history is back for good. The Diablo Fighting Championship, or DFC Unlimited, is here. Every Friday on Twitch, we broadcast fighters on ArenaGL who are willing to share their perspectives and show us their duels. In this video, I got the chance to sit down with some of the top performing PvP players in the game, and now I'm sharing that experience with you. We're going to look at some of the top duelers in PvP, examine some of their duels, and chat with them as they explain their builds and gameplay decisions. While this isn't an all-inclusive list of all of the best players online, these are at least the ones that I got the chance to sit down and learn something from. If you were ever curious about PvP and looking to get into it, this is the video to watch. I've uploaded all of the DFC streams from Twitch to a secret playlist for you devoted PvP watchers that I'll link in this video. That being said, let's look at the current state of D2R PvP through the eyes of the players. Let's dive in. FOH, bros. That needs to get way more powerful, huh? That needs to be able to be cast 2.5 times faster. The first player we'll look at is DFC Season 3 champion Bowie. After looking at the highlights of one of his first matches in DFC Unlimited, we get the chance to sit down with him, talk about assassins, talk about his build. He even goes on to talk about the Whirlwind Glitch in D2R and what needs to change about that. Additionally, he shows off the secrets of his build, and I use my absolute mind effing powers to try to get him to give up secrets that he is not necessarily so willing to share with everybody else. Let's check it out. Jesus is on a Necro. This is a classic matchup right here. Very tough distance duel. Bowie's gonna try to close the distance. He's gonna try to probably get in kicks, I would imagine. Kicks and possibly fire blasts. That's gonna be, I think, oh, look at that. Yep, big kicks. He's gonna try to lock Jesus out with these kicks. Try to stun lock him. Doesn't keep the chain though. Oh my God! Did you see that clutch use of his dragon flight right there? That allows him to grab a name lock on Jesus just off the screen without having to see him, which makes this a very miserable matchup for a Necro. You know, more than it would be an LOD. In LOD, I would say this was a 50-50 matchup right here, but not so much in D2R with the current state of kicks. Good duels. Looks like that was a 5-0 victory for Bowie right there. Very nicely done. Bowie, good performance, man. That was very aggressive. You seemed like you knew what you were doing all the time.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. I was actually trying something new out tonight. Normally, when I duel against Necromancers, I typically like to run Dragon Talon, which is the rapid 3-kick attack. Yep. Or sometimes I'll switch it up and do Dragon Claw, which is what I used in old school Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction. Yep. But on here, I wanted to test something out brand new for tonight, Dragon Tail. And I think you probably noticed it in the stream, but what happens is Dragon Tail has that AoE explosion attack at the tail end of it, meaning that rather than being a rapid kick that would just kind of pummel somebody to death instantly, right? You're going to do slow 1 kicks at a time, but it's harder for them to run away from it because of the explosion.
Wow. Wow. So Dragon Tail. Now, does that work? This is coming from someone. I mean, my experience on Sins is basically from, you know, the advice I got from you probably close to 6 months to a year ago now. You know, how does Dragon Tail work? Is it sort of like D-Flight, where you don't have to have the name lock on your screen? You can just kind of click it when they're close, and it brings you right to them?
No. So actually, Dragon Tail functions really similarly to Dragon Talon, except the only difference is rather than being a series of 3 or 5 or even 6 kicks, it's just 1 kick with an explosion that does fire damage at the end. But the fire damage is really minimal. If you're close up enough, you can still crack the open wounds. But that being said, I don't want to steal all the credit for this build. My good friend Marvel actually came up with this. He was the first one to start testing this build, and I kind of borrowed the idea from him. So I don't want to be the only person to, you know, steal the credit for this build.
Wow, and that's a good thing about the community in D2, especially in PvP. Is like, I mean, that's how you get better. You see the ideas and the testing of other people, and you take that and you incorporate things into your build. And you know, a lot of people look at Sins and they think that, you know, especially like this, a trapper being so one-dimensional. But the truth of it is, especially in the current state of D2R, is that they're not. There's a lot of skills that if you are informed and know how to use them and know how they work, you can really switch up your build in such subtle ways that you confuse your opponent, similar to sort of, you know, what we see in other builds. You know, my Murder Den, a hybrid poison bone necro, you know, just to the point where you confuse your opponent. Like, what the hell are they going to do? You know, that was really cool, man. Very dominant performance there. Anything else that was sort of secret about this Sin? Like, what were your tactics here, and how did you make this look so easy?
I guess, so my style, and normally when I play, you saw how I played my Whirlwind Assassin in D2 Lord of Destruction, right?
Yep.
So the difference here is that with the current state of Diablo 2 Resurrected, Whirlwind is actually not working. You can get desinged in the middle of your Whirlwind if something hits you. You can get FHR'd, and what will happen is you're going to spin, and then when you get hit, you're actually going to freeze and then teleport to your intended final location. And what happens is, as somebody using the skill, you really get screwed over against like a Druid or a Necro or a Charger, for example. So I'm like, you know what? With the game changing the way that, you know, you need to play, I adopted a new style, leveraging kicks a lot more than I did in the past. And I was like, you know what? I've been using Dragon Claw and Dragon Talon for forever. Let's switch it up. Let's try Dragon Tail, see how it plays out. And it was similar. I was trying to pin down a Necromancer, chase him, and bait him into, you know, feeling safe and spamming a bunch of spirits who would stand still when he's shooting, and then kind of get the jump on him that way. Yeah,
very nice, man. Very well played. You did a hell of a job there, man. That was cool to watch. It's always fun to watch you on a Sin, dude. Absolutely solid. Would you mind showing off some gear? You might have already done that. But I would love to see kind of what you're rocking. I love the matching charms already. Just how this character looks is phenomenal.
Yeah, so I'm always happy to show off my gear. As everyone knows, you know, Chaos and Fury are the primary claws that every assassin uses. Chaos being the one that gives you Whirlwind, Fury being the one that gives you Open Wounds. And then I can't show you guys a secret tech, unfortunately, between behind the two claws per the request of my good friend Marvel, but I'll show you the rest of the gear.
Okay, you got some secrets you don't want to reveal. Okay.
I got some secret tech. Everything is.
Can you give us a hint as to why the or what the point of them might be? In a very general sense. Keep it as esoteric as you'd like.
So the secret behind the build is leveraging a little bit more Open Wounds than a Fury Claw, and making your assassin run a little bit faster than they.
Do you run Malice on it? On your swap? I nailed it, didn't I? I fucking nailed it. Don't worry about it. I fucking nailed it. I fucking nailed it. Okay. Anyways, let me show you guys the rest of the gear. So I got a Griffins with a 40 ED, 15 attack speed. This gives you Jesus, what a beautiful Griffins. Look at this. An even 200 defense with a 40-15 jewel in it, 20-15. This guy ain't fucking around, man. That's a pretty Griffins.
I got my amulet with strength and life over here.
Wow.
Triangles.
Never been without gear.
My Arachnid's belt, and then of course you can't go wrong with 2 life rep rings, right? Because RTF rep the full just in case ever needed. And then we have our Shadow Dancer boots. And for my inventory, I decided I could run Shadow. I probably should have ran Shadows, but I decided to run 7 Grand Charms and 2 Shadows. Just in case, you know, this strategy, for example, that I was testing didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. At least I can trap him down like a trapper.
Right.
And then, you know, for the torch, it is perfect torch. Annie, the perfect Annie.
Wow.
Small charms I can't show off. It's a secret.
Small charms are a secret. I'm gonna guess you're loaded up with 451s.
Maybe.
I'm going to guess you're loaded up with 451s. Now, you know, that's something that even Toshank had mentioned earlier when we were in a pub game. He had mentioned, he's like, oh, if I load this Zon up with 313 poisons or 451s, that's GM. Technically, in DFC rules, yes, it is. You know, until it's broken, until someone breaks it and forces us to change the rule, we haven't really seen a lot of poison really be the difference in the matchup. You know, Open Wounds more often than not being the case. So yeah, that's dope, man. Now, I'll say this about, you know, one of my superpowers, right? One of my superpowers, sometimes I say, is being able to read into things, right? I'm not always good at it. Sometimes I miss the mark. But I'm going to say, based on your response to my comment about 451 poison charms, and based on your kind of how you just said that, I'm going to guess possibly your secret sauce is 3 faster run walk, 100 poison damage small charms, or possibly more. Because we noticed you running extremely fast in that duel when you were catching the Necro. And it seems like between your strategy or what you were doing, that could be possibly the best charm in that slot. Just show me one if I'm right, Bowie. Just show me one if I'm right.
Faster hit recovery poison charm.
Oh, damn it. Okay, no, he's got... Okay, I was close. I was close. I was close. Well, Bowie, thank you so much for showing off your build and some of the tricks that you have here. I really appreciate that, man. If you guys like Bowie's style here and haven't gone over and checked him out on Twitch, please do. Give him a follow or a sub even on there. It's just twitch.tv/Bowie6, B-U-I-6. Next up, we're going to look at SYNCHED, aka Maty, in his matchup versus Riz, who is one of the most decorated and notorious ghost sins, not only in D2R, but in D2LOD. We get a chance to sit down with Maty, examine his duels, and talk a little bit with him about his build. Maty off to a nice start here. Got Riz at probably about halfway through. Probably about half-life here. You see Riz using these fire traps. I think that's how he locked Maty up before. I think that's how he locked Maty up. You know, he sets these traps and hopes Maty teleports into them. And when he does, and when he gets hit by those fire traps, especially if he's in that Mind Blast swirly, he's going to get stunned by every single one of them. That on top of Whirlwind is going to make it really tough for Maty to get out. And the fact that in that last duel he was kind of puddled there too. Rough spot to be in. You can see that. Look at this. Riz setting this up. Is Riz a ghost? Is Riz a ghost? He's hitting really hard with that Whirlwind. And he's laying fire traps, which makes me think he might be a ghost. Hybrid fire trapper. Oh, wow. Oh, man, and he's trapped there. Maty gets some good damage in from the Mind Blast. I appreciate Riz letting us know there. Thank you, Riz. It's risky typing in the more, but he does it. And Maty takes round 4, 3-1 Maty so far. GG. All right, so looks like it's over. Maty's showing off the gear. I'm going to undeafen myself. I don't want to interrupt this, though, showing off this gear, this beautiful gear here. Look at this. Wow. Oh, nice ring. Oh, look at all these Shadow Discipline charms here. Ooh, crafty. Knowing he's going to get a lot of damage in with that Mind Blast. All right, I'm going to undeafen myself here on It's going to be a brutal
matchup. Sin, huh?
Yo, Maty, are you there? Yeah. Everybody else, shut up. First of all, congratulations on the win, man. That was pretty solid.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a very favorable matchup for me, but it was good fights, just like back on LOD.
Yeah, man, that was solid. So, so you say it's favorable. Why is it favorable for a trap sin versus a hybrid sin?
Because I can use my range and I can just escape the. Every time he goes for a whirlwind, he basically gets punished, right?
Ah, okay. So he gets punished because you have traps waiting for him, basically.
Yeah, you'll see. Like I'll set up traps ahead, try to bait him into some traps.
Yeah, that is solid.
Mind Blast.
Wow. Now, is there a specific pattern that you try to establish with those traps, or you just CT cast them in his direction?
I kind of messed up.
So you just CT cast on different sides of them?
I'm just trying to like bait them, basically. I'll try to see where they're moving and adjust. I'll abuse CT.
I see. So you CT, but you try to keep your traps in one spot. So you're trying to step outside of your traps, but then when they start coming in, you're teleporting back into those traps and really trying to punish them for coming in.
Riz and I go way back.
Oh, really?
Been dueling for like a decade on LOD.
Oh shit! No way.
For real, he's an old school dueler. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Oh, I knew he was old school. I didn't know you guys were that close and going way back, dude. That's dope. I gotta say, and I gotta say this for both of you guys, I really appreciate the fact that this was Sin v Sin, right? One matchup that's usually never fun to watch. You know, and I'm actually impressed at how well this went and how aggressive you guys were. I just want to say, as a viewer and an aficionado of, you know, these duels, it was fun to watch. I think that was that was awesome. So
it was fun, yeah.
Congrats on the win, man. Always fun watching you duel. You know, this is just amazing. You will probably see some of these clips on YouTube. Maty, what's your official YouTube channel? I know it's Synced, but is there something you have to search for, like Synced D2, or do you have the channel tag now? It's
Synced, I think. I think Synced. So. I think
Perfect.
That's my YouTube.
And that's SYNCHED.
Yes, sir.
That's what it is, dude. Yeah. So be on the lookout for clips from this on Maty's YouTube. They will probably be there. Next up, we had the chance to sit down with DIOWIND, and I do mispronounce his name a bit in this clip. However, Dio is a notorious druid. This is one of the only druids in D2R and D2LOD that I've ever personally struggled with in 1v1 duels. But we have the chance to sit down with Dio as he single-handedly takes out one of the most notorious classes in D2 PvP right now, the Assassin, with his Wind Druid. He tells us a little bit about his build and his strategy that he even adapts mid-duel while he's sitting down with us and chatting. Let's check that out. Oof. He's doing a good job of staying out of those traps. He kind of, I mean, just like any other class, you kind of have to keep your distance on the Sin. You can't get in too close. Now, when this does happen, you'll see Dio sometimes throw some offensive nados or try to in those Mind Blast locks, especially if he's not really threatened by traps. But it looks like Buffalo doing some nice baiting here into these traps, much like what Maty was talking about. He's kind of teleporting onto the side of them and trying to get Dio to come in. All right, now this is Dio's opportunity, I think. He stepped out of his traps there momentarily. But Dio still not wanting to get caught. Oh, and there it is! Nice catch from DIOWIND. Perfect timing. It looked like Buffalo was trying to chain kick him there, which is a good strategy versus a Druid. Kicks are insanely good. And even Whirlwinds in cutting your opponent open. He did a phenomenal job there timing that, seeing that was about to happen, recognizing the strategy from Buffalo, and really capitalizing on that. That was really good.
So here's what I'm running. Grizzly Pelt, 241.3, Enigma.
By the way, so I gotta say this first. Whoa, go back to that Enigma. Is that perfect?
Yes, it is.
Oh man, look at that perfect Enigma. Someone was telling me you were using a Walmart version of a Druid over here. I didn't know whether to believe him or not.
I was 2 days ago. I was rocking a bunch of crap, and then like I was dueling yesterday. Yesterday, and I was like, man, I need some upgrades for the DFC.
Fucking right, man. Yeah, this looks good. Perfect Enigma. You ain't fucking around with this guy.
No, man. And then I got this here, which is nice.
Nice, very nice. Perfect mana roll, 35 cast.
He's a nice little Wizzy.
Now, why Wizzy over the Suicide Branch here? Is that just because of that light resist jewel you put in there?
It's the light resist jewel that I put in there. The res for me was worth it with the 50% fast cast rate as well. The 11% mana damage taken goes to mana was also nice. So.
Yep.
I grabbed it.
Yeah, that's really good on especially against a Sin where a lot of times they'll try to kick you or they'll try to whirlwind you, and that's one of the only ways that they're going to defeat you. You know, that's a really good choice.
Keep them far and then stomp when the time is right. You know, just have to pick your points and try to get them on their on the time that they're away and where they think they're safe, casting their traps. So you know, nice. I try to keep the distance and doing that. So getting tranks with the cold res. Arachnids, 15-15 Treks, and I got this nice little ring.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Nice ring, dude. Good 4.5 pointer.
Yeah.
Jesus, nice.
I loaded up on some lifers yesterday, and lightning res.
Yeah. Oh, who the fuck was saying this is Walmart Druid over here? This shit is dope.
You know what's funny? It was Walmart 2 days ago. It ain't Walmart anymore. It's pretty decent.
This shit is dope.
Yeah,
this is a dope Druid, man. I saw you switching out from SS there and Spirit. Do you not have another Spirit?
I do, but the thing is, in case I wasn't sure if there was gonna be Whirlwind involved in it, so I also use a Storm Shield in case when I'm mid duel, if I see the person's more Whirlwind based, I'll swap out to an SS in order to block a little bit better and to give me that extra DR.
Very nice.
That's why I used it, and I figured she would do that mid duel because sometimes like people will panic if they're losing and try to swap out, or maybe even if they want to get more aggro. So depending on that style, I try to like keep it up so I can swap even during my mid duel if necessary.
Very nice, dude. Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, and Max was saying he's like, I'm betting he's using that SS in case you know, in case it gets pretty heavy. But I was on the game plan where you saw that he was whirlwinding and you still chose not to swap to SS. Did you feel more comfortable with the faster hit recovery from Spirit? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was the FHR. Like I felt safer in that regard, and I felt like I could keep him at bay a little bit better. I've been practicing a lot with Bowie and Max, so a shout out to those two guys. Over the years, I've gotten used to their Druid, so you know, to them like doing my Druid, so it's you know, it's good practice. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun, and it gives people a little bit of a view of, hey, you know, sins are hard, but they're not always impossible. Yeah, it's a fun matchup for me. I like DVS. It's not easy, definitely a hard matchup, but a lot of fun.
GG, man. Nice job. One hell of a Druid that's definitely not a Walmart Druid that chat thought it was.
Anymore.
You know, and this thing is beautiful. Nice job. Very well played, brother. It's always a pleasure watching you duel. As you'll see if you check out the hidden DFC playlist that I've set up in this video, we have indeed crowned a champion that is holding on to the current title in DFC Unlimited. And that champion is, of course, Eleet. Luckily, early on in the competition, I had a chance to sit down and talk with Eleet about all of the different FPK characters that he uses. If you don't know what FPK means, that's okay. You'll figure it out in our conversation, as he does a great job of explaining that. This guy is phenomenal on many of those types of characters, and he actually breaks down his decisions not only in the duel, but we get a very rare look at his stash, the different setups that he has, and he even explains why he has those setups. This is some very crucial advice in Diablo 2 PvP, so listen up when Eleet is explaining his stuff here. The legendary Eleet. This guy, absolute savage on a Necro. Absolute savage in general when it comes to this shit. This guy is top tier dueler. Winner of one of the tournaments that we had during the arena games. This guy's very creative. He knows what to do. He knows what to do on a Druid. We've seen him on a Druid. We've seen him on a Necro. This guy's very good on both. Look at this, a very nice leading there going on in two different ways. This is what I mean. This guy's a fucking savage, man. Eleet is a savage. You notice him leading himself here against this very tough matchup versus a Druid. He's leading, and what that means is you see this chain of Bone Spirits he's launching and then teleporting in front of it. He's trying to catch Steezish in that chain of Bone Spirits. He also does it with Teeth. You'll see him start doing that with Teeth. It looks like he has a COA on here for the damage reduction. Really trying to survive as many of those NATOs as he can. And with all of this nasty leading that he's been doing, and all of these nasty trains that he's set up, he's only done a sliver of damage so far to Steezish. Look at this, good sportsmanship. Asking if he's good, asking if he's okay. Notice him pausing there a little bit. Good sportsmanship. Classy dude right here. Nice name grab there. Wow, from all the way at the top of the screen. That's how you can tell when a player is very used to these chain locks. They're always hunting for their opponent's name with their cursor. Oh, big hits there, big hits. Eleet doing some work. He got caught early with some of those NATOs and took about 33% damage. But he's quickly catching up, playing the aggro role here against the Druid, which can be dangerous, but he doesn't want the Druid to recast all of his pets. In this matchup, Steezish needs to keep those pets up. Those are going to absorb a lot of those Bone Spirits in these trains of Bone Spirits that Eleet is setting up. It's going to absorb a lot of those so that the Druid doesn't take those hits, which is exactly what you want. but you'll see Eleet using Spear here, and that's gonna cut through those pets, and that's what he's gonna chase with. When he's got Steezish on the back pedal like this, he's gonna chase him with those Bone Spears. But that was actually a very good move on behalf of Steezish. This guy is insane. He's doing a great job of remaining aggressive while he's backpedaling, trying to recast these pets. This is an exciting duel, man. These guys are phenomenal. And he actually lands a few more hits here on Eleet. Eleet trying to punish Steez for going to that mana pool. Almost gets caught from a NATO, but finishes with that spear, cutting through all of those pets. Very nicely done. That was an insanely good duel. Nice job, man. That was an incredible duel to watch, man. You are a fucking savage on this Necro. We caught a little bit of a glimpse of your gear, but would you mind showing us that again and telling us a little bit about this build?
Yeah, sure, dude. Actually, I plan to play Sin here, but I agreed to play Necro versus Druid just for the fun, you know? For the viewers, we are trying to have fun here.
I appreciate that, man. Nobody wants to see another fucking Sin in this tournament, dude.
Yeah, that's right. So,
no one wants to see another one.
Do you want to see my gear specifically versus the Druid?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see what you were using versus the Druid, and then yeah, feel free to like tell me anything else too about the build that you got going on. Anything you want to share?
Okay, so of course I'm running max DR, so a bear chronophages with pair with dongos.
Oh, nice.
And I'm also running full rep setup, so I'm hitting 40 rep here in case you know things get RTF if you want.
In case you have to pull a buoy in RTF.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got this,
Jesus.
Nice amulet here.
Wow.
Yeah, I was glad to get my end on this one. For the rest, a basic one. I'm using this Raven Frost to cannot be frozen, of course. Some Elders for the fast run wall, extra life too. And the inventory is pretty standard, so I'm using, you know, lifers and life smart charm also. So
interesting. So I noticed the choice of the life mana charms there. Is that what you use kind of as for like your versus all setup?
Well, I'm trying to hit like max all resist on all of my characters. So I have this smart charm page here when I can swap if needed for different setups. So here are my cold resist charms, there are my fire resist, lightning resist, poison resist, some faster recovery charms, and then my life and mana charms. So I'm changing charms, you know, according to who I'm dueling and what character I'm playing. So
wow. Yeah, very nice. That's the beauty of this shared stash in D2R is that you can have these swaps for like any matchup that you go against. Really, really nice.
Yeah.
Man, that double bared COA I think that's so necessary in a lot of these matchups, especially versus that Druid. You also had won one of the Arena Games events that we put on, man, in quite dominant fashion. Is this would a Necro be like your main character, or are you good on other ones as well?
Well, I play all FPK characters, so Nectin, Barb, and Druid. But right now, Barb is kind of scuffed, so I don't really play Barb. I don't have one. So I mainly play Necro, Sin, and Druid.
So you say Barb is scuffed. Is that because you don't have one, or is it because it's at a disadvantage when it comes to the other matchups in the meta?
It's scuffed in the sense that Whirlwind is fucking scuff, and you can have alt Whirlwind here. So I'm waiting for Blizzard to hopefully fix that, and then I'm gonna make a Barb.
So that's kind of the big thing that makes Barbs not so good right now is that you can't alt Whirlwind, and basically what he means by that is that you can't not target your opponent when you try to get them in a Whirlwind lock. So you could easily Whirlwind lock yourself, you know, just trying to finish your opponent. So that's interesting, man. But you're a big FPK player. You did a hell of a job tonight, man. I'm really impressed with the looks of this. Are all of those diadems in your stash right there? Are all of those for this Necro?
This page right now is for my Necro, my Druid, and my Sin. So if you can see, that's my Necro item. So I have this one that I use principally into the Necro versus Necro. I use it against Thors too. Well, pretty much against all matchup that I don't need faster run wall, I don't need DR. I'll use this extra life here. And then I have this pretty cheap Necro max block.
Wow.
Coronet for.
So you have a max block setup on your Necro. Does it actually go to max block, or is it just high block?
It's high block. I think I reached like 60 or 65%.
Wow.
I'm pure Vita, so.
Wow.
It's still pretty good, and it still does well against, Zons and Barbs. And then I got the Scaras against, of course, Blizzard Swords. I got a Shamlow Chronophages here that I like to use in the FPK with a 20% Wisp. Beautiful. So it's probably my main setup. I use this Chronophages a lot. Then I get a Circlet with faster run walk and life. I rarely use this one, but it's still nice to have. Then I have my Druid health here.
Oh wow!
It's pretty nice to have with the volcano, the shockwave, and the extra life.
Oh wow!
So I'm
okay,
really
so I was
have
looking at that and I was thinking, compared to your other gear, it looks kind of basic. But you're using that because of the volcano and the shockwave, which is really good to have in certain matchups.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really good to have again Sorceress. It's really great in DVD too, and you can also use in the Druid versus Necro, but it's more harder to pull off. Wow. So it's principally versus Druid and Swords. And I have some Druid circlets here and there.
Look at that. What a beautiful helm. That is very pretty.
And this is a pretty basic circlet, but this is actually my standard FPK Druid helm that I'm using right now. Really? Yeah.
So why that in FPK? So I imagine it obviously because of the light damage from assassins, but why the cannot be frozen? Is it because of the Mind Blast lock and the kick, or the damage from assassins? Why the cannot be frozen?
Yeah, it's principally because of the swirls coming from Mind Blast in combination with the Druid. That could be really deadly, so I like to have cannot be for frozen here, but it's not really a must. Most of people play without it. You will see a lot of Druid running, this kind of circlet with a low in it, and then sacrifice the cannot be for frozen. That's good too, but my preference here is to have both. So.
Wow, that's beautiful, man.
And then this is my Druid max block setup. As you can see, 46 dexterity and with some nice jewel in there that also have caster recovery. And
I noticed the enhanced damage on there. That's just probably collateral, right?
Yeah, I don't use that at all. Yeah. And this is my Pride Druid versus Sin setup.
Wow.
So I actually used that once versus Toshank in Druid versus Trap.
Oh, I think we saw that duel.
I use that in combination with T-God here, but if you do that on Druid, you have to drop to 99 faster cast rate, so you become slow as fuck. Yep. But it's still worth it because, you negate all the damage from Mind Blast.
Yeah. They're not damaging you with Mind Blast. They're not damaging you really with traps. Like, you're pretty much indestructible versus an assassin with that setup.
That's right. And then I have my Assassin's Griffin. So I have a Jaw, a Bear, and a Sham that I'm using on my Sin right now that I can swap. I use the Sham one mostly in FPK, and then I will use the Jaw one versus Necro, and the Bear versus Barb and shit, Wow. And this is my Assassin block setup. Ooh. And some Perfect Dancer for block setup on both Druids, Sin, and Necro too.
Yeah, that is beautiful, man. This is an amazing setup. I just want to say congrats on this win, man. That was very well done. It's amazing watching you duel. It was phenomenal watching it from your standpoint this time. So thank you for sharing your screen. Thank you for showing off your stuff and explaining this build a little bit to just pubs like me who don't quite understand the real technicalities of Necros or really a lot of these FBK characters. I appreciate that, man. So thank you so much.
Thanks to you, dude. Thanks for hosting. You're doing a great job. Keep doing it. I'm looking forward for the next tournament.